welcome back to Total Spotfest. JJ Brownlee, Jamie Faulkner coming back at you here, talking another jam-packed week full of wrestling. We got a couple pay-per-views to talk about from this past weekend. One of them involved one of our little toy belts, NXT War Games. You know, who's going to get the belt? Who's going to pull it away from Megan? Is she going to keep it? We don't know. We'll let you know about that. We got Impact stuff, Rampage, Dynamite from last night in Long Island, a peculiar Dynamite. We'll put it that way. We have thoughts.
There's a few things I enjoyed, and there's a few things I did not enjoy.
We have some thoughts. We'll get to it there. Plus, big news from Journey Pro. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate it. If you are checking us out on YouTube, as always, drop a comment down below and join the conversation. Give us a like while you're down there. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to hear more. You can definitely reach out to us at any time on Twitter at Total Spotfest. And if you're bored and you got nothing to do with your time, find us on them internets at www.totalspotfest.com.
And while you're at it, you know, just in a sign of solidarity and unification of all of us, if you agree that Die Hard 1 for sure is a Christmas movie, hit that subscribe. We're your peoples.
Yes.
We're your peoples.
And if you don't believe that Die Hard 1 is a Christmas movie, hit the subscribe and give us a comment as to why.
Yeah, subscribe because you want to hear us. You want to hear us defend it, and it just like, you know, grinds your gears.
I'm so amped for it. So we just finalized plans with my dad for Christmas Eve. You know,
nice.
Ever since, you know, since he got remarried, a few years back, we've adjusted. It was a little bit of interesting times in between times my mom passed away and now that he got remarried, but we've kind of found a good rhythm here. But we shifted everything from doing stuff on Christmas Day to more doing stuff on Christmas Eve. We still do a good dinner on Christmas Day, whatever, but so it's interesting because Christmas Eve has always been my ritual is Die Hard before I go to bed, right? That's my thing. So we finalized our thing here, and now I'm super amped for it. I see it pop on the TV too. It's like on TBS or whatever. I'm like, nope, Christmas Eve. Gotta wait to Christmas Eve.
See, I'll watch it now because Christmas Story is my Christmas Eve, just because there's 24 hours of it, and that's typically when I make the gifts from the big guy. He drops them off, and then I put them together.
Yep. One of my best friends is Christmas Eve tradition is always watching A New Hope, which I appreciate the hell, but I'm just like, that's not a Christmas movie.
Not even in the slightest. Like, I would watch Gremlins. Like, Gremlins is more of a Christmas movie.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns, to your point, and I never thought of it until you said that. I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely 100% correct.
Such a Christmas movie. You let us know. Give us a comment or give us a tweet. What is your guys' favorite Christmas movie? Maybe out of the ordinary, not talking about White Christmas or Holiday Inn or It's a Wonderful Life. What is your guys? Are you pro Die Hard, Batman Returns, Gremlins? Give us some thoughts. So,
I mean, I know Christmas Vacation is always a solid
Christmas
choice.
Vacation is solid. Elf is.
So, unpopular opinion. It's a little annoying. It's a little annoying. I do like it, but it's just a little extra annoying. It's like Will Ferrell cranked it up to 11, and I'm like, I like him at a 9. Mm-hmm. So it's like I can handle it in doses. Like, my kids want to watch it all the time. I'm like, no. For all of us.
Okay. I love it. I think it's the perfect amount of Ferrell because that role is so crazy that it needed to have over the topness to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, so and also there's been a debate in our house because we all like Harry Potter in our house as well, and there has been a debate that the Sorcerer's Stone is a Christmas movie, and I will tell you why.
I don't disagree with that. And I'll tell you why. You go first.
Okay, because one of the big things in there, he celebrated Christmas really for the first time, got presents for the very first time while he was at Hogwarts, and the very first present he got was the invisibility cloak, which is a part of the Deathly Hallows, so it pays off dividends. So the very first present he ever got as a real boy, there
as a real boy.
went on, to pay dividends later in life.
Now,
and it was a very Christmassy moment.
There are those that associate Harry Potter with Christmas in general, like the entirety of the series. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that when they were released in theaters, it was usually around Christmas. I think the first Deathly Hallows came out summer, but everything else was always a Christmas release, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And and most of them have that Christmas winter break moment in the middle of it anywhere. Was it the Triwizard Cup? Which one was that?
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire. The Goblet of Fire had the Christmas ball with the 3 schools and everything. So I mean, I can see that. I'm so pro Christmas. I'll take it all. I'm like, sure, everything's great.
Yeah, I would say all of them did it except for the Deathly Hallows movies.
Yeah,
you had Deathly Hallows. Yeah, so you had Deathly Hallows Part 1, Deathly Hallows of the Rings is why I like to call that one, because it's lots of walking in that one. And then you had the second one, which is actually a Deathly Hallows movie, if you ask me. But that's whatever. I digress. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings guy.
The joke is there. Jamie is not selling it enough. He's adamant about whenever the camera's not rolling, apparently he's adamant about how much he despises the Lord of the Rings. So anyhow.
Yeah, you watch Clerks 2. There is a spot that Kevin Smith wrote into Clerks 2 about how much he hates Lord of the Rings compared to Star Wars, and I am that guy. Like, literally, like, I'm the dude who's eating the burger in there and is like, fucking A. That's me, because I'm like, that's exactly how I feel. Even the trees walked in those movies. Sorry.
Well, okay, I think we're going to talk about wrestling. I swear we're going to talk about wrestling in a second.
Maybe we don't have to.
I think the whole thing is that trying to compare it. That's the whole point. It's like it's its own franchise, stands on its own, and I don't know. People are like, well, it's not Star. Well, nothing Star Wars, And it's like Star Trek fans. It's like, well, yeah, nothing Star Trek, or it's like, I'm like this, like that. Well, yeah, sure, that's great, but it's a different thing. Try to say, well, Harry Potter's ain't Star Wars, so fuck it, That's I don't know. I like them both. Jamie definitely doesn't. It's okay. We're all good.
Too much walking, like too much expansive shots. Like they did a study. There's over in all the movies combined. There are well over 45 minutes of shots of them walking. 45 minutes. I have to watch people walk on these beautiful terrains. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful landscape and it's just gorgeous. But 45 minutes of people walking.
45 minutes out of, roughly, what are the movies? Like 3.5 hours almost, or something stupid like that. So
the first one had a lot. I'm just saying.
First one had a ton, and they got progressively. Well, okay, all right.
And they could have rode the goddamn Eagles in the first 5 minutes.
Okay, and you're not cinema sins. Let's stop it right there. Okay, so we got wrestling to talk about. Like I said, lots of wrestling. We're gonna start off. Speaking of Christmas movies, with Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie. The latest and greatest show from our friends over at Journey Pro KC. Announcements were made this past week. On Tuesday night, they had a little Facebook Live video. If you haven't checked it out, we retweeted it. You can check it out on Facebook. We got it on our Twitter. But DJ Hartzell and Chris got together and released the full card. They let the cat out of the bag on a few matches ahead of time, but they released the rest of the card. It was glorious. It was a fun time. We got tickets already, and apparently the tyrant ruler, wannabe Queen of Queens, and her boyfriend are supposed to be coming with us this time.
Yes, that is right. Our champion.
Nope, not my champion. Hashtag not my champion.
Our champion. Cornerstone member of the Faulkner World Order, Megan, and her boyfriend,
Cornerstone
Owen.
member.
Yeah.
She was born. Yeah, you're a winner. Hey.
Exactly. She's born into this. I was born of this. Yeah. So her and Owen are going to be with us. I'm going to make sure that I find some way to see if I can get Hoodie or somebody just to like berate her boyfriend in front of me, just to make me feel good.
Absolutely. Well, I think that it'd be funny as hell if at some point in the night we kind of squeeze him in a chair in between you and I, because we're both not small gentlemen, and and we can just dig in there, just kind of pinch him off a little bit.
I mean, he's a skinny dude. He's a pretty skinny kid. He's a nice kid. I'm gonna give him some props. He's a good kid. I like him. He has not done anything to hurt my daughter yet. Being very, very lenient, way more lenient than I ever thought I'd be. So we're going to take him to wrestling and see how he really is.
Let's see how it goes. And he's going to find out quick that you're friends with professional wrestlers. You're friends with big, meaty men who get sweaty and slap on other men. That sounded bad. All right. So, card.
Did it though?
It's not wrong. It's not wrong. So, before they had the video, they made the announcement on a few of the matches. So, they announced Gary J versus Christian Rose. I don't know. The whole Ticket to Ride tournament got pushed back with Walter's sickness, some organizational changes. They had to kind of shuffle talent. Plus, that delayed the belts, and so I don't know how this figures into that, but I think it does. DJ hinted that it does on the video, but they made the announcement they're going to have that, and I think you said best, that is going to be a slap chopping good time had by all.
Yeah, my chest hurts just thinking about that match.
Somebody's losing a nipple that match. Somebody's going to lose a nipple.
They're going to lose a nipple and maybe more. We'll find out. So, maybe two.
Maybe two. So that one was announced. They also announced the Jeremy Wyatt versus, and I goddamn love this, Jeremy Wyatt versus JDX. Ooh. Ooh.
That match gets me excited because they are so good in charisma. Yes. You know what though?
Star.
You know what this match really needs?
Maybe it's a Juji Katami or no. How about a Lion Tamer?
A goddamn Lion Tamer.
Well, you have another person to tweet at, and I am JDX is an athletic son of a bitch. I'm sure he could do a Lion Tamer.
Yeah. I might turn extra heel on Jeremy Wyatt and start hitting up his guy. We'll see.
If you guys follow us, but definitely follow Jeremy Wyatt too, because their interactions are great. Because he started to get under the skin, and Jeremy starts to recognize now. And Jamie's tweeting out at him. It's great.
He did the shoulder shrug like he was gonna do it. I'm like, oh my god! It's like, I'm getting to you. I am getting to you.
Right, because he was haggled more by Nick Chin's kids than us, unfortunately.
Dog water,
worth it. Chin's kids took your thunder, but they ran well with it. So I'm good with it.
We started the dog water chant.
I continued on. That was a big thing during the live stream as well. And then the last match they announced ahead of time was the match that was supposed to happen in October and finally happening. JJ Garrett versus Everett Connors. Everett Connors' grandma is a big fan of JJ Garrett, so that'll be interesting. But yes, this match, we were excited.
Grandma.
Finally going to see this match.
That match is going to be absolutely amazing, and they did announce more matches.
Yep. So why don't you go ahead and get started on some of the other matches they announced here?
So the match, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, this is no bullshit, and you'll figure out why I'm saying that later. But the Quinn McKay Journey Pro debuting Quinn McKay of Ring of Honor going against, I would have to call her Journey Pro's own Heidi Howitzer, because we have adopted her as one of us. She is definitely one of us. So we get that match, and that is amazing. So Quinn McKay has been around the Kansas City wrestling scene for a long time, but she has never wrestled in a Journey Pro ring. So this is a really cool moment that we get to see her wrestle, and she's been wrestling a hell of a lot more since she's been in Ring of Honor. So that's really cool.
So especially lately in Ring of Honor. Well, I say lately, but near the end of Ring of Honor, as we know it. She also has, announcing chops as well. But we first saw her at NWL. She was part of the Jeremy Wyatt, whatever the faction was that they were. I don't remember what that was. You?
Oh man.
Man, everyone's gonna kill us because we should definitely know this.
We should know this. It's like it's not like the elite or the
anyway, we saw
Enterprise, like the Enterprise.
I'm just moving on. I'm moving on because, like I said, we should know this, and we can't remember. But she was kind of seen there as like a valet of sorts, with them. And I think that she started training to be a wrestler at that time, so she was brand spanking new, but quickly moved along the ranks. So we get to see her in-ring debut versus the purveyor of butt stuff, Heidi Howitzer. I'm all for it, man. It's gonna be great.
Yes. Then in the next match, the Scramble match, which there's some stuff coming up on the Scramble match I want to get to right after we announce the entrance.
Right. Well, talk about the match first, and then we'll talk about the good parts.
So far, this is what they have announced for the Scramble. This is what they have. They have 7 people, actually. So this is a 7-man Scramble. And we have Donnie Pepper Cricket, who comes out to take on me by Real Big Fish. Amazing talent, lots of fun. Homegrown talent, Dallas Cade, the heavy metal heartthrob. Then we have one half of Thumbs and Buns. That is Thumbs, not Buns. So Mighty Micah is there.
Yeah, then we have elsewhere that night, actually.
Yeah. Then the return of Yellow Dog. Last time we saw Yellow Dog was at the Zello Pro. The Zello Pro Journey mix 78 weeks ago, whatever it was. It was a long time ago. Then we have 2 members of the not Acclaimed. I want to call them Acclaimed. It's not the Acclaimed. No, it's the
you're trying to call them the Elite too.
I did. I was like the Elite, the Acclaimed. I know it's something like that. Jesus, Jamie, what are they?
Wow, your brain has just stopped
My
working.
My brain is dead. I've had a lot of information thrown at me. The premiere. The premiere. Yes. Wow. Okay. I swear to God, people, I have not drank today. Maybe.
It just feels like it because whatever. All right.
So Campbell Myers and SK Bishop of the premiere, 2 members of that are in there. And then the winner of the last Scramble, Darian Journey Pro can't get my name spelled correctly, Bankston.
I think this is the war. I think this is a shoot. I really do. I mean, the way this is going on, it's just like they're very adamant about spelling his name correctly, and then they misspelled his first name on this one here. So
yeah. So that is your Scramble, ladies and gentlemen. And one of the things too is they want to name it something special for every year. And we have thrown out a few ideas.
Well, they want to name it something related to Die Hard related, that was
Die Hard
canon,
thing. Christmas canon, something of that nature.
Yes. And boy, there are options out there.
So of course we had to hop in there and throw a few things out there. I know I was a big fan of the John McClane Memorial Scramble.
You put that out there. John McClane is not dead.
Or is he?
I didn't see the last Die Hard with his kid, who's fully grown, Jay Courtney. But to my knowledge, John McClane didn't die in that, so...
it's fair.
How can it be John McClane Memorial? I liked the option that was presented during the chat on the live viewing, because I made the live viewing. Jamie actually had other commitments, so he had to watch the replay. But, somebody put out there the Hans Gruber Memorial battle or Scramble.
Then I wanted to take it a step further when you said that to the Holly Gennaro Rolex Memorial Scramble.
So meta you are.
Because it was her watch that had to get taken off for Hans Gruber to die. So her Rolex died with him.
Just flexing his movie nerddom right there, guys.
Which, fun fact about that, if you've watched this movie, that was the present that she got for Christmas from the president, the guy who got killed in the very first guy killed in the show, that it was a Rolex, and yeah, and the dude who did all the drugs is like, yeah, it's a Rolex. That's why I thought it was great. But then also we had other names. I threw out a couple, or a lot. The ho ho ho, I have a scramble now
match,
which is
that's great.
Scramble match now, yeah. And then welcome to the scramble, pal.
Now, the funniest thing in all of this, and I told Jamie this because there's a lot of things being thrown out. The Yippee-Ki-Yay was definitely one of the most frequented ones that was thrown out. Different variations with or without the motherfucker thrown out there. And there's Walter in the chat, like, none of those happened in the second movie. That was all for the first movie. And it's just like, yes, we know you're being particular, Walter, but we're in the spirit of Die Hard in general.
Yeah, it's Die Hard canon. Like, if you want to do the second one, what do you do?
There's too many airports in Dulles. Scramble.
Yeah. Red taped ammo can, red taped, or naked yoga scramble. I mean, there's not a whole lot there.
I mean, yeah. You want? Well, apparently, Journey Pro is going to pick their three favorite. There's several that were announced that are kind of put out there during that, and then everybody's been tweeting at them, specifically Jamie, with suggestions since.
Yes.
So they're going to have a Twitter poll shortly. Keep an eye out on Journey Pro's Twitter. They're going to have a poll there. We actually get to name the scramble. So, hell yeah. Even if you're not local to Kansas City, get on the Twitter, vote in the poll. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, and tell us what name do you like? Like, I want to know. I want to know what's out there that somebody likes. Like, I don't know, Heather the Librarian. She does Dynamite, so she might have something awesome. Mm-hmm. Whoever. Robin, if you're listening, put it on there. Like, let's go. I want to know. I want to know what people.
You got something else? Let's go. All right. So, one match that they haven't made the graphic for yet, but they did announce as well, was payoff from last month's show main event. So they have Moonshine Mantel versus Kenny Alfonso.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a hell of a match.
That's gonna be a match, but this one, I'm calling it now. Guaranteed to fuck. And not only to fuck a little, it's gonna fuck hard. Like, really hard. And that is the Howlets versus the West Coast Wrecking Crew of New Japan Strong. Team Filthy.
I mean, this is the main event. That's what they came out and said. They saved this one for the end. This is the main event. So let's go. Hashtag heel shit versus West Coast. I mean,
yeah, the Left Coast Gorillas is their former name. So Left Coast versus West Coast.
It's gonna be it's gonna be so good.
And then the match that honestly just oozes charisma and oozes amazingness.
The match that I said during the live announcement was gonna fuck.
Yes. That is the returning from Ring of Honor as well, Dak Draper, the Mile High Magnum.
That's
going against somebody who just drips with confidence and charisma, and frontman Jossie. We saw him at Weekend at Journeys, and my God, I was a fan instantly. The
man he was that the mic. He can back it up in the ring. Oh, and he's been on Dark, I think, a few times also by now. So
yes.
Oh, that match is gonna fuck so hard. It really is.
This card is
sick,
stacked.
And there always are some prizes at Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I say always, this is the second one, but still, there's gonna be
it every year.
There's gonna be some surprise, and for the life of me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I mean, you got the big name New Japan talent, you got Dax back, Quinn's here. I mean,
what else could you do?
I don't know. Who knows what it could be? Maybe maybe the besties show up afterwards to challenge Left Coast. Or West Coast, either one. I say Left Coast. How it's now you got me stuck in Left Coast versus the West Coast. Maybe the best.
I love it. I love it.
I don't know. It could be. I think there's gonna be something. You know, they've all been very, very like about a sport. You know, there's something they got up their sleeves.
Yes, and I must know. I must know before the show, but then I don't want to know before the show too. It's like, so the thing is like, I think we've all figured this out. Like I have to know, or it just kills me. And I'm at that point with this. I have to know. I gotta know.
I want to be surprised completely. So,
nope.
All right, fantasy booking on
Eddie Kingston.
Okay, could be.
Eddie Kingston.
I don't know his schedule, man, but it could be.
These would get rock hard real quick. Nipple hard. Cut glass. You ever heard that your nipples so hard you can cut glass?
I didn't figure Eddie be the one to do that for you. I mean,
sure. Oh, dude, I love Eddie. His mic skills and
love me some
like
Eddie,
he's a legend, man. Like I consider him a independent legend.
Well, I don't know what else is going on around the wrestling world that weekend, so I haven't dug deep into Fantasy Booking Island yet. But you got a little over a week still. There's still plenty of tickets available on this. Tickets just started being sold on the 6th, so plenty of tickets still available. Not a ton, but if you want a ticket, you can get one if you hurry up and get it, in the next few days. So we will be there for sure. Come say hi to us. We got more stuff coming next week. Just as a PSA for everybody out there, we have been working. We got some interviews lined up. So keep an eye on our socials and everything. And if you're following us on YouTube, check out the channel here. We have some interviews lined up, and we'll be releasing them on Tuesdays coming forward. So that's all the spoiler you get for that.
Yeah, and you know what? If you come see us at the show, come say hi to us. You will get not only a howdy from us or a hi, you will get a crisp high five and a candy cane.
Ooh.
That might have a special message that might say Lion Tamer.
Did you really Lion Tamer candy canes?
Oh, no. I'm just going to put like a little thing on it that says Lion Tamer.
Okay. I'm like, that's an occasion there to get some custom made candy canes.
Yeah, so my goal, my Christmas wish, if I could be Tiny Tim for just a moment.
You're not going to get it, but go ahead.
I want one of two things. If I get both, it'd just be absolutely amazing. One, I want a Lion Tamer chant at Jeremy Wyatt, and then two, for Jeremy Wyatt to either put JDX in the Lion Tamer or JDX put Jeremy in the Lion Tamer. Tall ass.
I think the first one you'll get. I think the first one we got a real shot. Those of you listening out there, please help me quell this man's insatiable thirst for a fucking Lion Tamer by at least chanting with us.
This is my promise to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is my promise, guaranteed Faulkner World Order mandate. If you get me one of these two things, I will not yell Lion Tamer in January.
You're being very coy there, considering Journey Pro doesn't have a January show. But there is a DWF show that's going to feature Jeremy Wyatt facing off against Dak Draper. So,
well, DWF's a completely different place, and they've never heard me yell Lion Tamer there, and that doesn't count.
Look out!
It's a different universe. In the independent multiverse, it doesn't exist.
Let's swiftly move on here. So lots of good stuff coming here. We'll get more updates for you guys next week. Preview the show next Thursday as well. As I said, keep an eye on the channel and our socials. We got some interviews lined up that we'll let you guys know about before we push them out. So it's good stuff's coming here. And if you don't have plans for the 17th, or you do and you want to find a way out of them, get yourself some tickets for Journey Pro. $25. I mean, that is not that much. Not that much. Shit, you go to AEW, even crap seats, you're going to spend $60-$70, right? You know, WWE, if you're a sadist, you're going to spend a crap load of money, probably. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, and the thing is too, they're always like, the tickets are starting at $39.99, and then you have a $15 service fee, and then you have a processing fee of $10. The next thing you know, boom, presto changeo, you're spending $65 on nosebleed, or you can spend $25, hang out with some fairly rad people, yell some shit at some people, see some butt stuff, see some people just getting their chest caved in by chops. Good times to be had for all. You need to go. Make it a point.
It's worth it. Let's do it. So we'll be back with more on that. Now,
very soon.
Other wrestling going on. You got numbers from this past week.
I do. I really do.
You were almost full rock on that wink there, dude. It was, your eyebrow was
I can do the people's eyebrow. Like that's like one of the few things I can do.
That. I didn't know. I've known you for how fucking long, and now I'm just finding out you do the people's eyebrow. Wow.
Yep. Oh, wow. Cat, you gotta get off the numbers, Cat. My cat's on my numbers. She's not seen me all day because I've been in the office, so like I can't get rid of her at this point.
Maybe she just wants to be on the show, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, she's right here. You want to say hi? You want to say hi to everybody? No. Okay, good. All right.
That was real quick.
I was like, as soon as I start moving, she's like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm like, yes. All right. So for Raw was down. And the fun fact is of course, we're going to do this week's Raw next week, and it's also down. Spoiler. And it's like the low. But this one was down 1.679, down from 1.7. And then this upcoming week's gonna be at 1.599. Just to give you just a shout out there.
They're gonna drop below 1.5 again soon. Very soon.
I mean, the Patriots and the Bills were in a win game, like whatever. That game was terrible.
I don't even want to. Here's the thing. I don't even want to.
I'm not gonna give
Monday Night Football anymore. And I was like, no more excuses. It is what it is. People are gonna watch football. Period. Yeah. People are going to watch basketball. People are going to watch hockey. People are going to watch the sport that they want no matter what. I don't think that has as big a bearing on these numbers as we like to think it does. Really.
Well, and people DVR them, and they got the DVR numbers too. Right. So that also is taking consideration.
Nielsen is a weird algorithm now because of all that. So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. NXT was up for their go-home show for War Games. They were up from...
go ahead.
They were up from 625 to 637.
Well, that's good for them. It's potentially, probably, the last appearance in WWE of Kyle O'Reilly and apparently Johnny Gargano. Because Johnny Gargano gave... I went back and watched pieces of it, just because. I watched the Johnny Gargano thing. First of all, he did the true class old school thing. Put over some young fucker on his way out.
Oh, he did.
This kid, I can't stand the kid he put over. It just, his gimmick is, I don't like it. But that's Johnny Gargano putting the kid over. But the speech before
you talk about the boxing shorts guy.
Yeah, a dude who wears basketball shorts, basketball shoes, and does a variation of TJP's Mamba Splash, a basketball. He's like, you're wrestling. You're not playing basketball, you dipshit.
Playing basketball.
That's what it is. Whatever. But his speech before that didn't sound like one of those getting called up or is going to. He broke the walls a little bit, talked about the people behind the scenes that he loved and was going to miss, and it felt like a goodbye speech. So we'll see what happens, especially because Winter is Coming is happening next week in AEW. I think Johnny, he made mention as well, just FYI, he made mention that Candice is due in February. So February they're giving birth. So I don't think we'll see him before March. Wink, wink.
I see this happening, though.
I see that in a week. I do. We'll talk about that when we get to AEW a little bit more. All right, so that was NXT.
Nice and slow.
Real slow.
It's coming to AEW. Dang it. Bang it. All right. Then we have AEW Dynamite, and it was down as well.
A lot of downs this week, except for one
lot of downs
noticeable up.
Yeah, thank God. They were down from 898 to 861. And last week's show we thought was pretty damn solid. This show,
was really good.
You know, I have mixed feelings about the show. We're going to talk about it here in a minute, but you know, I expect numbers to be up. I do, just not to the millions at this point. They need a big splash for that, and I think winter is coming is going to be that splash to get them back.
I personally don't think it'll happen after the new year, just for some reason. That's just my inkling. I don't know why.
That's fair. Like their first one on TBS, maybe. Yeah,
I think when they go to TBS, I think it's going to be big. I think it's you never know. I don't, no real, just a hunch.
That's fair. And then the big winners, big winners, up 50%, ladies and gentlemen, up 50%. Actually 100%.
Actually, up 100%.
Full 100%.
Yeah.
Full 100%. Full 100%. My fault. I don't know why I'm repeating everything 3 times. Don't know why I'm repeating everything 3 times. I don't know why I'm repeating everything. Yeah. But Impact was 48 and went up to 96,000 people, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, like I said, the week before, it was Thanksgiving night, and it was the pre-recorded Wrestle House. Yeah. They knew, like, we're not getting shit for viewers. Just have fun. Yeah. We're going to put this shit out there. So, I mean, I enjoyed Wrestle House for the campiness that it was. It is really campy if you caught any of it, though. Like, really campy. This past week's show got back to regular show, thank God. And there was some real good stuff that happened in this show. So, give you a real quick little rundown. I'm not going to give you a full deep dive review, but Matt Cardona firmly puts himself in the main event hunt, okay? So it opens with him confronting Moose calling him a mid-card guy at best. And
mid.
You're so mid, right? And then, there's a lot of build-up for Hard to Kill. So Hard to Kill is shaping up to be a really good pay-per-view. So they've got, first of all, the Women's Ultimate X match. And, kind of what you had going on, you have all these women who are kind of lobbying Scott D'Amore. He's going to announce this week. So tonight, he's going to announce the participants in the Women's Ultimate X match. You can bet that Tasha Steelz is going to be there. Rachel Ellering, I'm sure. Tenille Dashwood, who's back. Spoiler. I'm sure she'll be in it, and we'll see.
Jordynne Grace, probably.
Jordynne Grace is digital media champion, so I don't know if she'd be in it.
Rosemary, maybe.
Rosemary, I could definitely see.
Su Yung for sure.
Su Yung hasn't been on TV in a while. I know Alicia and Chelsea Green were lobbying him to be in it. I can see both of them making it, Alicia Edwards and Chelsea Green. So we'll have to see. And once again, Ultimate X is fluid. At least it always has been in the past. So 5 women, 6 women, 8 women. I mean, I've seen all those variants of Ultimate X in some way or another. The 8-person was a tag team match. That was nuts. A 4-team tag team Ultimate X. Crazy. You had Jonah made his debut. He squashed the shit out of Jai Vidal. Sure. And then he talked about how, because he was basically beating the shit out of Alexander and other people that are opposite Moose. So he's got a temporary alliance with Moose. All W. Morrissey, right? Remember those words. That he's helping him out because of a future Impact World title shot. And then he turns his attention and starts calling out Alexander. Alexander, who, by the way, is set to have a very interesting indie match coming up here. He's going to be going off against the person who said is their favorite independent opponent they ever had, Ruby Soho. Hey, Ruby. in the next
Awesome.
next AAW, which is a Chicago promotion. The AAW. I think it's at the end of the year. I think it's like right at the end of December, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's in January. I can't remember. But coming up, AAW pay-per-view, their next show, Alexander versus Ruby Soho. And there's a lot of people been announced for that match, or that card too. Check it out.
Nice.
You had lots of stuff about their next little kind of mini pay-per-view going on the 18th, December 18th. It's taking place in Louisville, Kentucky, live. Tickets still available. It's presented by Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's called Throwback Throwdown 2. I have no idea what any of that means, but I'm all for it.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a 6-sided ring. That's a throwback. Just say it.
Oh,
maybe they'll call themselves TNA for the night.
Who knows? Who knows? So we'll see what happens.
SoCal Val doing intro.
So, well, December 18th. So night after Weekend of Journey or Die Hard 2 is also a Christmas movie that's going on. Then one of the more interesting parts of the night was, like I said, Tenille Dashwood made her return. So she made her return back. She took a little time off, right? So she made her return back. She meets up with Madison Rayne and Caleb with a K, and she finds out that the Inspiration is here, and she wants to go find them. So they go looking for them, and later on in the show, they find them, and the Inspiration kind of steps up to them, and then the three of them just like, oh my god, they kind of go, because they're all good friends from Australia. They've known each other for years, right? So it's a nice little bit of breaking kayfabe there, and it very much looks like Tenille found her real friends, and Madison Rayne's going to be kicked to the curb in the near future. So a nice little storyline building with that. Now, the main event was W. Morrissey and Moose versus Matt Cardona and Eddie Edwards. It was won by Eddie Edwards and Matt Cardona, but the real meat of the matter is afterwards, Morrissey finally turns on Moose. He finally's had enough, lost his shit. The alliance is over. In fact, your main event for Hard to Kill is Moose defending his title against Matt Cardona and W. Morrissey in a triple threat.
Oh.
So that's what we call payoff there, folks. So yeah, good stuff happening. Impact, like I said, got away from the catchiness stuff and back to regular, good wrestling shows, and they'll be back over 100 soon enough. So
yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
All right, what we have left then? SmackDown next.
Yes, we have SmackDown, who was also down. They went from 2.149 to 2.030.
Okay.
So they lost 119,000 folks.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Which for Fox, I mean, that's chump change for Fox, really.
I think the moral of the story is, even though they were sold on the whole 3 million plus every week, if they can stay above 2, Fox is fine with them, right?
I mean, they were promised 3, but yeah, I guess
this day and age, you get to whatever.
Promise 6 and you get 4. Am I right? No. No. All right. So then Rampage was up. That's right.
Good. There's 2
Not
that
much
were up this week.
It was up. Yeah. So it was up 3 that were up officially. This one went from
right.
this one went to from 431 to 499. So not a whole lot, but still 60,000 people.
Something.
I mean, they gained. I hate to say this, they gained more than Impact, and Impact is 100%.
Yes. Okay. All right. We're talking. Yeah.
That's potatoes, oranges.
You're talking Yankees versus the Kansas City Monarchs. Okay. All right. We're talking different payrolls here, or different classes, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So those were the numbers.
Well, and
for the week.
Okay, and Rampage was interesting. So you had Tony Nese versus Sammy Guevara, which was objectively the best match of the night. It was a fantastic match. Tony Nese, God, he's so underappreciated everywhere he goes, or everywhere he's been. Let's put it that way. This was great. It had all the stuff. Nese almost hit a lion tamer. I'm surprised you haven't watched it.
Oh, I did.
Okay, all right. So he did this single leg crab thing where he bent over and did the knee like right in the middle of the back, not the head, but the middle of the back. And I saw it and I go, I even took a screenshot of it for you just in case you didn't see it. And I'm like, that's almost
The
a
one-legged
tamer.
Yeah, it's a one-legged tamer. I don't know what you call it.
It's a cub tamer. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
Tiger tamer.
Sam Guevara got the victory, but this was a fantastic match. The other two, not so much. You know, Jade Cargill with Janae Kai was all of 20 seconds. It was an old school Jade Cargill squash match. Did dick nothing, and you know Thunder Rosa came down to the ring afterwards, and they got me torn apart and all that. Whatever, we get it. You know, you're gonna build up for their match. Have some actual build up. Don't just. You know, Jade Cargill's come so far. To have her still doing these like half a minute squash matches does nobody any favors, especially her.
Yeah, I am not disagreeing with that.
Okay. And then you had FTR versus Penta, and Pac is Pac because Phoenix had travel issues. They kayfabed it was an injury, but he had travel issues and stuff. So, you know, we're getting the tag team championship match this coming Rampage. So this just kind of felt like filler. There's some fun flippy spinny shit. Sure, it was cool. Malakai came out afterward, you know, at the end of it, poison mist, and Pac's one good eye because his one of the eye was covered, and so now he's totally blind, I guess. I don't fucking know. But yeah, that was Rampage. It was fine. The opening match was stellar though, I will say that.
Yes, it was, and that's without a shadow of a doubt. Yes, it was.
I mean, it's true. It's so good. So before we get to Dynamite, we have some business to take care of.
We do. We really do.
We do this basically for the toy belts that we have. And because we need 4, we include WWE in these. So over the weekend was the War Games pay-per-view for NXT 2.0.
No.
So, it's what I'm being official. That's the name of it.
I know.
It is what it is.
I know.
So we did our picks. We did them like middle of the day Sunday. We were both like, oh shit, picks, right? So we threw them up there late. We have a tiebreaker, and there's only 5 matches. So the War Games, because the 2 War Games are longer matches in general, so there's not a ton of additional stuff in the War Games pay-per-views. NXT pay-per-views generally don't have a lot of matches, 5, 6 maybe. So we were the exact same, Jamie, Megan, and myself, on the tag team title match, the Cameron Grimes and Duke Hudson hair versus hair match, and Roderick Strong versus Joe Gacy for the cruiserweight title. We were the exact same on all 3 of them. We all chose Imperium to defend their titles against Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner. They did. We all chose Robert Strong to defend his title against Joe Gacy. He did. We all chose Duke Hudson to beat Cameron Grimes, and he did not. Cameron Grimes came through. The neatly trimmed short stubble beard Cameron Grimes looked very odd.
Yes, he did not look right. And I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, he's getting his head shaved for sure. There's no way. And then it's like with him too. This is what I thought would have been hilarious, because I thought if he loses, they shouldn't start with his head. They should start with his chest hair, shave his chest. That'd been absolutely hilarious.
That would be pretty funny. But no, he got the victory. So
surprisingly
enough. So we all stand at 2 after that. We were different on the War Games matches. And by we, I mean Jamie and myself were different from Megan. So me and Jamie have the exact same card. So if it's just the 2 of us, it's going to come down to a tiebreaker. And if we split these at all, we're going to a 3-way tiebreaker. That's it. That's the only way this can go.
Yes.
So the women's match was the Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez, Cora Jade, and Kaylee Ray versus Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai. I watched both War Games matches, and this one was all right. It's pretty much like Jamie told me earlier. It pretty much was what you expected. It wasn't really surprising, but there were a lot of good spots. There were a couple surprising spots. It was surprising who got the pinfall was Cora Jade, who sold the shit out of an arm injury. I don't know if it was real. I have no idea.
It's not.
It didn't. I don't think it was, but they sold the hell out of it. So kudos for the selling. But they got the victory. So the faces, they win. So
yeah, I even put on their faces.
You just put faces, and if they had lost, there's no way you could sell me that Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai are the faces when you have Cora Jade.
No, they're the heels
on the other side. So Jamie and I get the point there. Megan does not. So it all comes down to this: is it going to be Team Old School or Team New School who's going to win? Jamie and myself both chose the Young Bucks, right? This is, like I said, this is expected to be Johnny Gargano's final match. Plus, the way that everything's been going, the direction, felt like New School. Megan chose the Old School. Chose, Ciampa, Gargano, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight. And this was not the match I was expecting to see, and I said that in a good way. It was a lot more entertaining than I had fully expected. It ended up being that the New School got the victory. So Megan's
and Braun Breaker got the pin.
It's a pinfall on Ciampa. Now we got all the Johnny Gargano go away moments, right? So we got all of his moves. We got a couple DIY, reunion bits there. So we got all that. But Braun Breaker, whatever the hell his name is, he got the pinfall on Ciampa.
Braun Steiner. Let's just call him what he really is.
He apparently is the one who chose Braun Breaker, by the way.
Of course he did.
Just saying, because he didn't want to.
Sounds rad, bro.
Well, I didn't. I just saw a headline, but apparently he did. So Megan's bye-bye. We're taking that belt from her, but who's going to get it? So we chose the tiebreaker being the men's War Game match time. Now, once again, we threw this together at the last minute because we almost forgot. So what's the main event? Well, it's going to be the men's War Games match. Well, that's what the tiebreaker is going to be. Now, War Games has interesting rules if you're not familiar. Everybody, you start off with one person in the ring, and then you have three people on your, the rest of the members of your team, are in a shark cage on the outside. And then after a certain number of time, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is, one person comes in alternating fashion till everybody's in the ring. When the last person's in the ring, that's when the match officially starts. So the times that we have here, I chose 23 minutes, 16 seconds. Jamie chose 24 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, once again, the match officially starts from the time the last person enters the ring. So the time that Ciampa, who was the last person, entered the ring until the final bell, 16 minutes and 7 seconds.
When we do our tiebreakers, we've always said bell to bell.
Well, that's correct, because we want to do what is the match time, right? Well, the match starts when the last person gets in the ring.
There wasn't a bell. The bell was in the very beginning when they first started it, and a bell at the very end.
Okay.
Bell to bell. Because you can't officially start when somebody gets in, because when's the time they officially get in? Was it when the door shuts? Is it when their both feet hit? Is it 1 foot hit? We can't do that without a bell. Because we always do bell.
I won solidly. It would not have any bearing on this because you were well over. I was less over. We're at 16 minutes. We're talking like
bell
5 seconds.
To bell. We've always talked bell to bell. That's what all of them have always been. Bell to bell.
Okay, you're not wrong. But the match rules are once everybody's in the ring is when it starts.
That's when our tiebreaker doesn't make sense for this because we do bell to bell.
So we're going to put a pause on this then. Even though I have all the victory graphics prepared.
And you still may get them, sir.
I hope I do. Well, the moral of the story is Megan doesn't have the belt, so that's great. So we'll pick a match to stay on brand, like we always have to do. Well, I'll pick a match at random with whatever the hell the card is for next week's NXT, right? So we'll pick a match, we'll choose times, we'll put them out there, and then we'll let you guys know next Thursday who came out as champion. So,
yes.
Anticlimactic for sure. So speaking of anticlimactic, I don't know if that's a good segue or not, but let's talk about Dynamite from last night. I don't know.
I don't want to be the bad guy on Dynamite. The internet is a buzz about it, and there's a few reasons as to why they're a buzz about it, and I agree with those reasons. But the overall thing was okay. And it's not a bad thing either. Like, I don't want it to sound like I'm shitting on AEW, because we all know I'm a AEW homer, and I am just all about it. I'm a full-on mark. Yeah, 100%. So I don't want this to come across as like, I thought it was a good show. Was it one of their top tier shows? Absolutely not. Was it one of their worst shows? Absolutely not. It was a solid show, but it wasn't like, there's only a couple things that really tripped my trigger, and it kept good, solid pace for a while. Then it's like, that's kind of how I felt.
I mean, my take on it is, and I went online afterwards too, and people were like over the moon talking about this episode, and I'm like, I must have missed something. Now, I told you I had dental work earlier. I went to the dentist earlier this afternoon, and I came back and I had like left side of my face was still numb up until the start of the show. So maybe I was my thought is maybe I'm a little skewed. That's why I wanted to talk to you about this. Maybe I was skewed because I had some, pain going on for the first 30, 40 minutes. But I don't know. I didn't feel like the crowd was odd. Everything was just kind of off, and it was a little odd to me. I mean, some of the matches were fine. I enjoyed several spots on there. There's a few things that I liked. But nothing really. It just was like, meh.
Yeah, I would say on this show there wasn't anything I disliked. I'll put it that way. There was nothing I'm like, oh my god. Oh, no, there's a couple things I'm like,
yeah, it wasn't like if I watched like the little bits that I have in the past 6 months of like anything Raw or SmackDown where I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I didn't have that.
Yeah. No. But so let's just talk about it, because I really enjoyed the first hour a lot. Like the first hour was amazing in my opinion, like with what it gave me as a fan. It's like particularly, I'll put it that way, because of my fandom, and it'll make a lot of sense. So the first hour, we actually started out with a promo. So that's also what kind of changed the pace a little bit, because typically AEW starts with a match. I think only 3 times in memory they started with a promo, not a match.
Well, but it's been recent too. They did a post Full Gear promo.
Yep.
This is the promo. They've done a couple of their CM Punk promos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been a recent development, not for the bad.
Yeah, no. And speaking of CM Punk, he comes. So this is the thing that got me, and this is what got me excited. Like this is the part that really got Jamie excited, because they're in Long Island, the home of Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And Maxwell Jacob Friedman's music hits, and the crowd erupts with cheers. Yeah.
Which I was happy to see. I mentioned this last week. I wanted to see, would he actually get a hero's welcome? And he did.
He absolutely did. His music hits, and you know who comes out? None other than CM Punk. And the crowd instantly turned on him on a dime and booed the shit out of him. But here's the thing. This is the part that got Jamie really excited. Because when he got the boos, old CM Punk showed up. Mm-hmm. And old CM Punk cut an old CM Punk promo. And Jamie was nipple hard. Like, this is what I want out of my CM Punk right here, right now. This is what I want. This is my guy. To quote him, this is your guy. And he was cutting he's a heel, but then he was just giving him shit about the Islanders not winning a game in that building yet.
Shot on the Islanders so hard. He's a big hockey fan. He's a
Blackhawks fan. He's a huge hockey fan. And then like Punky's even said that, his dog Larry had more balls than MJF, and Larry's neutered, and like all these things. Like he just kept just going on and still cutting. Like he was being heel through it the whole time, smiling. That's the thing that really got me. He was smiling, enjoying the booze. The booze fed him. And then the best part, the 100% best part was right after the promo. He's walking back and he goes, "You wanted the best, you got the best." And that version of CM Punk, bar none, is the best.
And my only problem with it is that it felt long.
It did.
It was dragging out a little bit longer than I would have liked, and you could tell because the crowd was starting to get really antsy about 3/4 of the way through. It's like, yes, keep telling us we suck and the Islanders suck. Get to the fucking point, right? Because he kept circling back to that, and it's just like, okay, yes, you've already shot on them. Yes, they don't like you. Let's, but maybe out of practice, maybe out of whatever. I don't know, but it's just the energy and everything combined, because a lot of people just didn't know what to feel. It was kind of like, I know I'm supposed to hate you, but you're still CM Punk.
And there were some CM Punk chants. There were some CM Punk chants going.
It was very much a conflicted, but I don't know. It serves a greater narrative. I know that, but it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it because of what it gave me for the future with CM Punk. Right. How he fed off the booze.
This is the CM Punk you've been clamoring for since he showed up at the Sears, at the the United Center. So I get it. Cool.
So he definitely. So I'm going to put it this way too. He cut an MJF style promo, like what MJF does every place he goes, coming out to MJF's music. Then after that, you have a awesome video package of MJF rolling up in a Ferrari, pulling out his old Letterman's jacket, and they're talking about how he pulled all the chicks and everything like that. Then his music hits again. He comes out and the crowd erupts, and then he gets down on a knee just like CM Punk, and he's just sitting there and soaking in. Like he almost looked emotional for real. Like it really looked like
did. Yeah.
He's like, wow, people like me, like for real, like I'm doing them proud. And then he did the wrist roll of one CM Punk right after to mock him. But then again, the crowd was all over. And this was the start of the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. The final two people are the finalists who get a match on Winner is Coming to crown this year's Diamond Ring champion. And he comes out. He's the only one that had music, obviously. So that kind of
that we saw.
Yeah, that we saw. Spoiler alert. Good match, actually. Battle
Royals are always fun. Yeah.
They had that one moment in it though that I really liked was Hobbs and Wardlow face to face. It's like, I want to see that so bad now. I didn't know I wanted it until I just saw it. I'm like, I want that. It was great. It actually ends up with, obviously, MJF is one of the finalists because he did a lot of hiding behind Wardlow and letting Wardlow do most of it. Then he ends up eliminating Wardlow. We're going to put a pin in that because we know that's going to come back up. And we're going to take that pin out when it happens.
Please.
And I think that's going to happen around the CM Punk thing. I really do. I think that's going to be a piece of it. But he wins, and Dante Martin wins by eliminating Ricky Starks. Rips off Team Taz.
Rips off the FTW armband, and apparently that was all work.
Yeah. And then to which Team Taz, so Stark starts beating him up. MJF goes, shakes Dante Martin's hand, and he even tried to get a shake his hand chant. Like he's totally playing up being a face. So hard. It was great. And then he starts walking off, and Dante Martin gets attacked by Ricky Starks, and he sees it. He's like, "Oh, should I help? Should I?" And he starts walking. No, he stops again. "Oh, should I help? Should I help?" And then he just bolts back in there, and then he gets face to face with Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks touches him. He pushes him back, and they just look at each other. And they both start attacking Dante Martin. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted.
The way it should have gone. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, it was everything I wanted and more there. Absolutely tons and tons and tons of fun. The next match after that, we had Varsity Blondes and Jungle Express going against the Acclaimed and 2.0.
Jurassic Express.
What did I say?
The Jungle Express again.
Damn it!
You do that every fucking week.
Jurassic Express. My fault.
You don't call them Jungle Cruise. Next time you're now you're going to. Congratulations.
Probably. Yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jungle Cruise is next. So the Jurassic Express of Varsity Blondes versus the Acclaimed 2.0. And Max Caster had a solid rap again, talking about chasing out Anthony Cuomo. Thought that was great. This match was a lot of fun, actually. It was fine. It was solid. It wasn't great. Wasn't bad. It was solid. But Varsity Blondes and Jurassic Express get the dub, snare trap for the win. So there you go. After that, there's a Santana Ortiz and Eddie Kingston thing because they're Long Island folk. Sure. Yeah, so that was
New
good.
New York folk. They're
New York folk. So they're not Long Island. Sorry, I definitely will make that distinction. I apologize. Then after that, you had FTR talk about FTR and Tully Blanchard talk about how the Lucha Brothers are scared to face them. Whatever, they're setting up for this upcoming Friday on Rampage. Finally,
I mean, the promos in this whole episode were just kind of like, meh.
Exactly. That's the thing that got me the most.
There was no real promo. I mean, the opening, sure, right? Opening, sure, that's a segment. But
yeah, that's a segment.
The very last one was interesting in a different way. Very briefly, but very brief, but very interesting in a different way. Other than that, everything else just kind of like, eh. I mean, you had a Ruby Soho promo. Hey, Ruby. She got interrupted by Bunny and Penelope, and they Tony agreed they're gonna have a 6-woman tag, and they start beating up on Ruby, and she gets helped by Tay Conti and Anna Jay. So
Anna Jay.
And then you had like Sammy Guevara promo, which is odd because of everything,
Mm-hmm.
Cody's gonna face him at Christmas Day because Rampage is gonna be released on Christmas Day.
I do want to talk about that for just a hot second.
Let's talk about that one. Then we'll go back. There's a few other matches. We'll just go to the matches here in a minute. But
talk about that
promo.
So this promo, he comes out. His arm just burnt to shit.
He got burnt like a mother.
Like we all knew would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because they waited way too long and he had the fire retardant on way too long and it did not work. But he comes out and he's like, hey, we're both good guys, while the crowd is booing the absolute shit out of him. Like,
I knew you were going to catch that. Yep.
Codelander.
No one's going to call him that but you, but yes.
Codelander. So he like, oh yeah, he signed it at Christmas Day, you and I, whatever. And then he teases walking out the heel one. He stops himself and goes back out the face tunnel. So I noticed that he says we're both good guys. Like the birth of Codelander is upon us, ladies and gentlemen.
I think he said actually good guy to good guy is what he said.
Yeah. He's like we're both good guys, or one good guy to another,
something like that. Yeah,
something of that nature. Basically, called himself a good guy. I'm like, oh, here we go. In
his mind, yes.
The birth of the Codelander has come upon us, and not to say I told you so, ladies and gentlemen, but I fucking told you so. That's all I got to say when it happened.
We follow through before you get the Mark Stradamus stamp there. Okay, let's just slow down. But when it happens, I feel like you're right. I feel like yes, because definitely with the tone and the way he was, I feel like you're there. But you got to get there first. You're dropping the ball before the goal line right now. Don't be that guy. Get across the goal line first, Jamie. Get across the goal line.
I'm not Leon letting this. Or
Deshaun Jackson or whoever else. You're right.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you had Man of the Year chime in. Dan Lambert's coming back. Cool. Whatever.
Yeah, that was exciting. I like that. That was fine. All right, so then let's go back to the matches real quick. Yeah. You had the Young Bucks with Adam Cole versus Rocky Romero and Chuck Taylor with Orange Cassidy. Solid match, fun match,
I enjoyed the match.
But the end was the best part for me because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Sue is back in her Honda Odyssey, bringing none other than Trent. That's right.
Who they actually
Shaved
called
head Trent.
And they referred to him by his New Japan moniker, Trent Beretta.
Yes, Trent Beretta, which was his name in WWE, and what is also his real name.
So instead of just Trent
Beretta.
Thing. So
yeah,
he was great. It was good to see him. I did enjoy that. This match I probably enjoyed the most of any of the matches.
It was probably my match of the night, honestly. It had everything I wanted. Young Bucks always put on a solid show. And Rocky Romero was great. Chucky T is always great. I love me some Chucky T.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when the Sue stuff was great. Then the Ruby promo happened at that point, and then the Sammy Guevara promo, which we just talked about. Then we had the women's match, and the women's matches so far for the last 2 consecutive Dynamites have been the best match by far of the show. This one was a good match, but it was definitely not to that level.
It wasn't. It had moments.
It did.
Like it
ending, really did.
I really liked the last third of the match.
I did too. So Jamie Hayter versus Riho. Riho ends up getting the win. She hits a code red out of nowhere, which I really like that. That's was probably my favorite move of the entire thing.
Her arsenal. Yeah, absolutely.
She did the diving foot stomp. Like she did all of her stuff. Freaking Jamie Hayter always looks good. She looks strong. And they were talking about her physique like crazy. I'm like, you guys are talking about her physique just a bit too much. And I'm not saying that in a bad way or a good way. I'm just like, I'm not disagreeing with them either, if you know what I mean. I'm just like, hey,
it's nice, but let's tone it down on national TV a little bit, right? Jerry the King.
Yeah, it's like we know she looks good. We all get it. Right. We all get that she looks good. Right. You can talk all about the women in wrestling look good.
Yeah, so. They're great. You talk about the sick brain buster followed by backbreaker combos that she did. That
my god!
The one thing I will say about Riho, because I've complained about Riho in the past, and a lot of it has to do with her stature. And I know she can't do anything about that. She's 80 pounds soaking wet. I get it. Okay, I understand. I've long said she doesn't match up well with some people, right? Yeah. And she did and she didn't in this match up well with Jamie Hayter. At first, agree. She didn't. But then, the later part, she did. And she did because other moves that she was taking, the way she was selling them as well, like that backbreaker looked ridiculous. It looked like literally she was broken in half.
Yeah, she was broken in half.
So,
like I miss JR for that one because that's like JR's like, oh, it's my catchphrase.
Get well, JR. Apparently treatment's going well. By the way, for update.
Yes, it looks like his treatments are going very well. I'm very happy for him.
But anyway, she can and she can't. Depending on this whole thing was to me. I'm schizophrenic on it because, like I said, I love the last third. The first two thirds was like it was okay, but it wasn't. You're right. It wasn't up to the. I don't think it was up to snuff of the last 2 weeks matches.
I think this upcoming week's gonna make up for it for sure.
I think you're right.
I mean, Riho hit an avalanche crucifix bomb. Can we just talk about that for a hot second?
Yeah, she can pull off some big spots for being
as tiny as she is. Right. Like to hit an avalanche crucifix, dude.
Which is weird because her 619 or her Tiger Fang kit doesn't look that great at all, but she can do an avalanche crucifix bomb. It's like what?
Yeah.
Why can't you do the other thing? You're doing whatever.
Yeah. So then AEW also announced that Revolution will be at Orlando. It will be at their arena on March 5th, 2022.
March 6th.
I wrote down 5th.
March 5th is FanFest. So 4th is Rampage. 5th is FanFest. The 6th, which is the Saturday, is Revolution. So they're going Saturday pay-per-view again.
Mm-hmm.
The 5th is
I'm cool with that.
5th is a Friday.
Yeah. And then
wait, no, that's not right. It's a Sunday. I'm sorry, I'm totally wrong there. Rampage is the 4th. I got a calendar in front of me. Rampage is the 4th, which is March 4th is a Friday. Saturday is the 5th. That is FanFest. And then they have Revolution on Sunday night. And the 17th, I believe they start selling tickets for it. They're going to have packages from the start, which is not to bitch too much, but I feel like they needed to do that when they did like the other pay-per-views, because if we got a good package deal, we bought tickets for All Out, and we're buying tickets for All Out again this year, and we talked about doing like the big fan fest thing, if you do it all at the same time, it makes it a lot easier for people to be like, just buy the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on sale on the 17th, so cool.
Yeah. So after this, you had Taz announce that Hook will be making his debut on Rampage against Fuego del Sol.
Send Hook. Send him.
So early reports on the Twitters, it said that Hook had a hell of a match. They didn't say who won or anything like that, so that's really good to see, though. But it sounds like his debut went really well. I think, honestly, Fuego's a good person for him to go with because Fuego makes everybody look good. That's the great thing about Fuego.
He's the right size for him to start off with, that he can, look impressive instead of going up against Wardlow or something stupid,
Yeah, and before we get to the main event, we had one last promo segment. And I have a lot of thoughts on this one because
it's interesting. This is the short one I was teasing a minute ago.
So Tony Schiavone, as he always is starting to interview the Varsity Blondes, and literally before Griff Garrison could even get a word out, lights go out. Lights come back on. There's Malakai Black, and he's staring at the Varsity Blondes, which does include Julia, and her last name is not Gulia; it's Hart. And
Julia
Gulia from Wedding Singer.
I understand. I know. Just you're such a movie nerd. Jesus Christ.
I know. But so he comes over. He pulls off his mask, pulls down. He looks at him, and he sprays black mist in Julia's face, and walks off.
Well, walks off to a blackout of it. Yeah, she's screaming like the horror movies that Jamie knows and loves.
Yeah, Scream Queen.
Good sell.
Yeah, amazing sell. So this is putting on my Mark Stradamus hat.
Please go, please.
I think he's in horror movie
new member of the House of Black.
Well, in horror movie terms, she has been marked. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He has marked her with black. Some of those movies, like If You Bear the Mark of the Beast, that type of stuff. She has been marked. So she has been identified as somebody he wants to bring in to the House of Black.
Okay.
And this is what I see happening with her. She's going to become a part of the House of Black, and he is going to change her. She's not going to have blonde hair anymore. They're going to make her have jet black hair. And she's going to wear all black and be all gothed out. And I'm here for it because I bet she'd be gorgeous and amazing as a goth. Because, that's cool. But you know what I'm saying? I think that's what they're going to do with her. And maybe even the Varsity Blondes as a whole, and make them like a dark version like the Acolytes were.
Okay. I didn't go as far as thinking about the Varsity Blondes, but I definitely agree with you. I had that same thought about Julia, in a manner of speaking, because when you think about this, their match was an hour ago, right? Why are you interviewing them now? Why are you interviewing them in front of everybody? It really didn't make a lot of sense. And then you see Malakai there, and you're like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. You have nothing to do with these kids. Who do you care about, right? It's like the closest connection you have is that you feuded with Cody Rhodes and the whole, Nightmare family. And in real life, Julia Hart's dating Lee Johnson. But that's breaking kayfabe, so that doesn't make any sense. I mean,
yeah.
I like the randomness of this because, like you said, Malakai is a storyteller he's given everybody. It's been well documented. He's pretty much got carte blanche, free reign from Tony. Tony gives a final up or down. Something really. He's like, He can be like, Malakai, let's. He could, but he's pretty much given carte blanche, right? So I'm for it. If he's amassing his
House of Black. If the House of Black is growing and she's gonna be the first member, or they all three are gonna be the first members, and they go from varsity.
Her alone is cool, right? I dig that. Great, because you don't expect that. Maybe just taking her and putting her in a different position to do something else and grow as a character and as a performer, right? But all three of them, I love that too.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Yeah, they would be the acolytes of this. Obviously, not to that level because Farouk or I mean that.
Right. The Brood or whatever. They'd be of his ilk, sure.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. If you guys think I'm off, please tweet at us or let us know. I want to know. And then we had the final match of the night, and it was what I expected. I'm not even gonna lie. It was everything I expected. It was a really solid match. Joh Silver got big hometown pop. But that didn't matter because he's going against Bryan Danielson, and Bryan Danielson beat his ass. Pretty epically.
He forgot to kick his head in, so he did it after the match, which drew out Hangman words. They meet next week.
Yep.
Cool.
Exactly what you expected, ladies and gentlemen. There's no shocker there whatsoever.
And it's not a bad thing, like you said. I don't think it was a bad thing at all. I didn't hate the episode. I just felt like it was just. Once again, maybe I was biased because, like I said, you know, for the first half of it, I was sitting there throbbing in my fucking teeth.
Yeah, and mine could just be because I've had a hell of a week.
Yeah,
like,
so
legit
maybe we
hell
were
of
both
a week.
in just an awkward mood when it started, but it just felt like an odd show, which it's not a bad thing. I think that like I said, there's good. This is the part. This is where we can wax poetic about AEW, because the things that they do that we like, I think that shows like this still have in them. You're planting a seed with Malakai and Julia, or Julia and the Blondes. That's fantastic. That's great long-term storytelling. Apparently, we're starting to get the turn on Cody, or at least the tease of the turn. We'll see where that goes, right? You had some good matches. You had a returning star. I think you had the continuance of a fantastic payout, which is going to be MJF versus CM Punk whenever they get to that. So maybe it's more of a building show, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean it's like almost a go home for their mini Dynamite pay-per-view like thing that they did. So yeah. I mean, they just kind of set a little foundation, and I get it. So it was still solid. I'm really looking forward to next week. I think that's going to be a banger of a show.
Winter is coming. It's going to be great. What are your predictions right now? Do you think we're going to see Kyle O'Reilly?
Yes.
I do too. I don't know how.
I don't think he's alone though.
Okay, explain. What do you think?
So I think Kyle O'Reilly is going to help the Super Click, obviously.
Because they'll probably be going up against some version of the Best Friends now with Trent. That's my guess.
Yes, who's also associated with Chaos.
They all are. Yeah, they're all technically part of Chaos, I believe. Technically,
yes. Whatever. Yeah, there's other rather large members of Chaos.
So though you think you're gonna, are you still chanting Rainmaker?
Absolutely.
He's not going to show up on a Wednesday night in the middle of December.
Oh, he sure as shit will, to set up for him coming back at Revolution.
I think you're going to see him, at the earliest, you'll see him at All Out.
Nope. I see Okada. Got to build the suspense for this one. Adam Cole, baby. Revolution.
Okay. I mean,
you gotta admit that match is gonna fuck so hard.
Oh my God. Whenever it happens, it's gonna fuck like yes, but I don't know. I don't see it so quick. And here's my thing: I don't think you spoil like if you're gonna bring in Kyle O'Reilly, that's a good get, because that's a whole nother out for the eventual, elite collapse whenever it happens, right? It's a different type of angle you can take now that Kenny's on the shelf for X number of months or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you bring in Okada immediately after that, well, you've just spoiled Kenny or Kyle. Why even bother?
No, I mean, they did Adam Cole and they did Bryan Danielson at the same show, and it didn't do anything different to them.
True, but I think you and I would agree, no offense at all to Kyle O'Reilly. He's not the same as Adam Cole or Bryan Danielson.
He's not, but the thing with Okada, here's the thing with Okada. You and I know Okada.
Does everybody else in America know
the
Okada?
Standard American wrestling fan, especially the WWE mark, they're like, what the hell's New Japan, let alone who's Okada?
Right. They may have heard the name in passing by some mark on the internet. Sure.
Exactly. Like, I would say people who go to AEW, I would say a strong 70% will know.
Well, shit. I mean, Suzuki debuted it all out when we were there, and everybody was seeing Kaze Nina Ray, for God's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for me, because
who does that?
I missed the cue, and I was like, oh, fuck, I missed it.
Yeah. Like, I was still in awe. Like, yeah. But no, seriously, like, I see AEW marks going nuts for it, but the general American fan doesn't know who Kata is. So that's why I don't feel like it'll diminish him, because he's gonna have his own storyline, and he's gonna help them in Chaos and all that good stuff, because Wrestle Kingdom's getting ready to come up, so he's not even gonna be available, and by then he could be the new IWGP Heavyweight Champion, which I'm putting money on that he is.
I'm sure he will be. I'm sure.
Or Will Ospreay wins it back. One or the other. It's gonna be one of those two. Which it makes a lot more sense if Will Ospreay wins it, because then we get to have some Okada fun in AEW.
Well, we shall see what happens. I don't think it's gonna be that big. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, I hope you guys give us your wild predictions. Let us know what you think. Is Kyle gonna show? Is Rainmaker gonna be there? Is it gonna be both of them? Is it gonna be a Wyndham showing out of nowhere?
That was the other one. I think you're gonna get 2 out of 3. That's why I'm calling.
It's gonna be 2 no matter what. Okay.
2 no matter what. And
I think we're gonna get 1.
Kyle O'Reilly's a lock. I think Kyle O'Reilly is. I think he's 1,000% lock.
We're
gonna see Kyle.
I don't think we're gonna see. I think eventually we'll see Johnny Gargano in AEW. I really do.
Yeah, but after the baby.
I think that March is after February, and I think March 6th would be a great time for one Mr. Johnny Gargano to show up. Just say.
I would tend to agree with that, since he kind of does live in the Orlando area too.
He does. But I think Kyle O'Reilly 100%, like you said, that's a lock. I think that we'll see him. I think that's it, though. I don't think you're going to have any other big reviews.
We'll see. Do you guys think there's going to be another surprise showing up?
Let us know. One last note before we go. So, also over the weekend was AAA's pay-per-view. Did I already do this? I didn't do this yet.
No, you didn't talk about it.
I was supposed to do it. It was interesting enough. Apparently, it was kind of a shit show. They had stipulations in the matches right before the pay-per-view started that people didn't know about. Like the first match was a lumberjack match. Everyone was like, "Oh, sure,
interesting."
Right? Yeah, it whatever. I'm not going to throw the bookers under the bus, but it was lots of good fun lucha action. Some botches. There was somebody who tried to do a backspring off of the top rope on the outside to somebody who was on a stretcher. And they totally missed. There's a great gif out there.
Whiff.
Completely whipped. The 2 big highlights I would say about this. Well, 3. Okay, we already know this. FTR, with the help of Vicky Guerrero, who was their manager for the night, beat Lucha Brothers and retained the tag titles. Tara Valkyrie had a video package where she announced she's going to be returning to AAA. She wants to take on Deonna Purrazzo for the Reina de Reinas champion.
Ooh, I like the idea of that.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy to see Tara Valkyrie actually get a wrestling shot, not whatever the fuck Frankie Monet was. And the main event saw Hijo del Vikingo get that mega championship. And
deserves it.
It was not surprising, let's be honest. Not surprising, but he won it over a bunch of people. Jay Lethal was included. Bobby Fish was there, but he won that title. And it's possible that we could see him go up against Kenny Omega whenever Kenny is healthy again. It's been said that Kenny doesn't want to completely, turn his back on AAA, still put over some of these young kids and stuff, and Hio's a megastar. I think if he gets just a little bit of exposure in America, look out. This guy, he's got young Will Ospreay on me. He's not young. He's been around for a hot minute, but he's got Will Ospreay vibes to me, He's got
hardcore. Yeah, watching some of his stuff. He's legit Mexican Will Ospreay. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, this kid's got it, so it was fun. It was cool. I didn't actually rent it out. I had other things happen this weekend. So, but because it was kind of a shit show, I'm kind of glad I did. But we'll see what happens next TripleMania. Because they started naming all their pay-per-views TripleMania. This is TripleMania Regia, and TripleMania is like the main pay-per-view. It's like WrestleMania, TripleMania. So now, I don't know what that's about, but it is what it is. So
yeah.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, the CM Punk shirt that he wore, the 4 pillars that had Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy, and one Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, is available on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Mm-hmm. Also shop AEW.com. So check it out. Check us out. We'll be back next week. So we're gonna have, like I said, check out our socials and stay tuned. We will have some interviews forthcoming. Those will be Tuesdays. So we've decided that our interviews we're going to release separately on Tuesdays, just interviews, and then we'll just do our one main show every week. So we'll be back next Thursday. We'll talk about Winter is Coming and whatever else has been going on there. Build up for January is a busy ass month. There's all sorts of stuff going on. We got, Hard to Kill's happening in January. You've got stuff in New Japan. New Japan's kind of on a little hiatus right now, right?
Yeah, they haven't. Nothing has been done in a while. Plus, the country's kind of back on shutdown.
Back on shutdown with Omicron now. So, yay!
Yeah, the Decepticon villain, Omicron.
Which everyone's going off on that, and me being the former frat boy, I'm like, it's a Greek letter. These all have been Greek letters. Why is this not? Whatever.
I know. I just love it. It's like it's Omicron.
Omicron. And when they come up with these words, and it's like alpha, beta, gamma, delta, zeta, eta. Come on, people. But it's supposed to kick back up. We got the World Super Juniors supposed to be finishing up, and I know I'm mispronouncing that every time, but I don't care. But
it's fine.
You get Wrestle Kingdom. You've got GCW stuff happening. You got stuff. GCW had their Dallas or the Texas shows over the weekend that were pretty good as well. They got LA on the 17th, and then they go to the New Year. So they'll have like right before the end of the month. They got some stuff in New York, and then I think they're back. I don't remember the exact date in January, 20-somethings or whatever, is when they're at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Completely sold out. The largest wrestling crowd to see a wrestling event at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Which is pretty damn cool.
It's going to be a show. Like if you've never watched GCW, or you only want to check out, it's like, I'll watch it one time, whatever. Wait. That one. Watch that one. Guarantee 100%. That one's going to be the bee's knees.
Bee's knees.
I don't know. Okay, lots of stuff coming up here. So we'll see you guys next Thursday. Check out our socials and everything. Once again, if you haven't already, and you want to come join us next Friday at Blip Coffee Roasters, 7 p.m. for some good old-fashioned wrestling here in Kansas City. Get yourself to Dream Pro Casey. Buy yourself some tickets. We will see you there. Jamie, why don't you take us out, man?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not down with Total Spotfest, I got one word for you. Lion Tamer.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace.